Welcome to the Tomb of Illumination, where we talk about the physics of the flat earth system, our earthly realm, our illuminated earthly realm, illuminated by the sun. Why the Freemasons worship the sun, because we wouldn't exist if the sun did not exist. If the sun went out, we would all disappear, because the sun is on the 2D plane, the ecliptic plane, which illuminates the 3D. So the sun is up there on the 2D plane, which creates a 3D illuminated realm through magnetism. Only magnetism can create that depth. So we have to worship the sun. Believe it or not, the sun is Christ, you know that. Most Christians do not, or don't want to accept it. But you don't get a man walking across the horizon or walking across the water. No, but the sun does. And everything in the story of Christ is all describing the physics of our flat earth. So anyway, today's video is about this thing here. A protractor. You just look at the shape of that when you know and understand what the Egyptians have left us in the way of an arc of horizon. Man's arc of horizon. You start thinking, well, who invented the protractor? Simple question. Go online, type it in. Hello. Once again, it's the ancient Egyptians. Found in the tomb of Ka. Well, I'll be Ka. So we're going to expand on that in this video. So, those who have been following me probably will find this quite repetitive, but for those who have just stumbled across my site, understanding man has an arc of horizon, a personal perspective of the universe around him. He only sees so far. So there's an equal distance to his horizon. There, all around him, 360 degrees. So obviously if he's standing at the centre here looking out, there's going to be a slight curve. And, you know, the simple-minded people think it because the earth is a ball. He's somehow looking at the curve of a ball when it's just his observable horizon around him, all around him. Well, it's an equal distance from there to there, and an equal distance to there to his visual perspective. That's the line at the end of his visual perspective. Then if that's equal, wouldn't there be an equal frame of reference all the way over from that horizon to that horizon? It's quite flippin' obvious to anyone with half a wick up here. So that's what he sees. He sees all the celestial bodies equidistantly perpendicular from his arc of horizon. Everything out there is all seen on here. As he moves, so does his arc of horizon. Nothing else really exists outside of his arc of horizon. So, you find this was first discovered inside a tomb of an ancient Egyptian. They called it Ka. But don't just stop here. Look into this. What's the relationship? It's the same sound. Everything's based on sound. So you start looking into the etymology of these sounds here. And after you've done that, you start looking into the word horizon. Man's horizon. Where did that word come from? Well, it's quite obvious. Look, rise on. Everything rises up on his arc of horizon. So you want to look up ho or ho. Okay? Then you start getting into other words. So we'll go into that. What does it rise on? To like, to desire. Let's get it with car, I think. To like or desire. And your car in Egyptian is your life force. It's all about spiritual awakening. The Egyptians have left us. You know, they have their image of the car with it. Looks like two arms out like this and the hand like this. You've got to realise it's not just the two arms, okay? It's creating the magnetism, telling the two fields, like the North Pole and South Pole, the dual entities. You've got a south. Cancer is the South Pole. There is the North Pole and the Centre Arctic. Centre Arctic is the North Pole. Come out to Cancer, it's the South Pole. Then you go into the other hemisphere, which is out here. You have a South Pole at Capricorn, and the North Pole is Antarctica. They are both North Poles. Both Arctics are North Poles. The field comes and shoots down here at both sides of the tropics. That's your South Pole. Check out my earlier videos. They've been lying to you all along. It's quite obvious. Understanding this, if a north or a strong and weak force, or north and south, in each hemisphere. This represents the magnetism, magnet, strong force, weak force. So you go northern centre hemisphere and the wider dispersed southern hemisphere. There's two of them. See? Centralized, expressed out, it's a lot bigger and many. Strong force, weak force. Strong force, weak force. But this southern hemisphere there's many of. It rotates all the way around the centre northern hemisphere. The centre northern hemisphere is between the two cancers here in this cross section of the flat earth, which is on another board. So you have the northern hemispheres from Cancer across to Cancer, right? Here's your flat plane. We know the sky is flat in the northern hemisphere, projected holographically. Well, all the stars in here are all projected holographically, but this is mirrored to the south. We've been over that 100 times in all my videos. So we're looking at the strong forces in the centre here, weak force out there, all around is one big overall picture. You could say, strong in the northern hemisphere, weak on the outside, but you break it all down like a magnet. So you say the Arctic, centre Arctic north, strong force, weak force. Weak force, strong force, okay? It's magnetism. More dispersed, the sun and the lemma, this is a magnetic cycle, the sun and the lemma. Strong forces in here, weak force. That the same amount of energy out here as there is in here, but it's more dispersed out here, more spread out. There comes a time of equilibrium when the two fields come in and merge and find balance where they're both equal. And that's to do with this divine point here. And you've got the equinox, but there's a big story to that, and I'll leave that to my Patreons. So car, back to car, understanding that you've got a strong force, weak force, strong force, weak force. So these are the two poles, two north poles, two Arctics, Antarctic, Arctic, and then the wider dispersed areas around them. Car, a dual entity, dual system. It's like that. Okay, strong force, weak force. Okay, so let's get into a few screenshots I've got here on the camera on my phone about looking into these words, okay? So, what is the old meaning of horizon? In imitation of Latin, Old English used egomeric, I mark to your horizon, see? Or limit of view, okay, horizon. The apparent horizon is distinguished from the celestial or tropical horizon. And so we're going to get into celestial navigation, okay? Because you need a flat horizon to get your angles. So there was what is horizon meaning? View, vista, field of range or vision. We have another, you go to Wikipedia and it takes you to Hokkien. Many forms or meanings to the word. We've got tumble, fall, leg, foot, lower limb. Another one's foot, base, leg, foundation. You need this foundation to get your readings. Calf, leg, foot, lower limb. Well, it's all these things are associated with the sun, the stars, your car, raising your kundalini, all that sort of stuff. So when you think of calf, leg, lower region, you go back to that monument of whatever you want to call it, statue of the Sumerian king, and you look at it, it's quite a distinctive picture of his calf, his leg. Well, that calf is representing the sun tucked into the Milky Way. Okay, because this whole divine event of Ka is all connected with the rising from the horizon. The Milky Way comes up over the horizon, and in a particular time of the year, it comes up, and they can align from hemisphere to hemisphere like this. So that's you looking down on a flat plane, the two curves like that. But there's a time of year where obviously it's going to be vertical over your head, where they line up. This is your rakia, your firmament. It's the firmer structure that passes through the ether. That's the firmament. Okay, that's what you're going to be looking for. It's not a dome over your flat earth, okay? It's an arch. Arc of horizon, arch, whatever. So we've got here strange, odd, unusual, wonderful. Then it goes down there. End, spine, tailbone, sacrum, the end. Well, it's the end of your horizon, which is connected to this car, awakening, which starts off at your sacrum, because that's where your kundalini is coiled up. You've got to get the right tune in your system, because everything's based on frequencies, to raise your kundalini, raise the rakia over you. It's a particular time of the year. You can't do that on your own. Yeah, spine, tailbone. So it all starts at your tailbone. It's your lower chakra, right? This is getting away from the video a bit, isn't it? Let's go back a bit. Took a few photos since I thought about making this video. Who invented protractor? The first protractor was found in a tomb of an ancient Egyptian architect, K-H-A, dating around 1400 BC. In the book Briefe Description of Universal Mapes and Cadiz, written by Thomas Blundeville, writer, described a tool specifically designed for measuring angles and drawing them. Ka, life force, your stars, all the celestial bodies are your life force, as above so below. Okay, so we take this curve here to give us the GP points down on our earth. They try to tell you earth can't be flat because we read this. What's reading that got to do with you not living on a flat ball, or making you live on the outside of this curve? What's it got to do with it? No, because the field lines across the earth is toroidal. There's no straight lines. So looking down on earth, if you could see the ether moving it moves in this form, these curved magnetic field lines. It's all curved. It's obviously not a straight line from there to there, is it? There's more length, isn't it? That length is brought out by this length. Okay? These GPs drop down onto these locations at a precise moment in time. It's all about timing. So it's all about celestial navigation, reading the stars, understanding how we get our GPS and all that is through the GP points of all these stars, dot 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 down onto the earth, dot 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 down onto the earth. And it's so easy now in modern sense because they use zenith cameras. They just have to sail the oceans with a zenith camera, and when a star passes over and comes dead center of the zenith camera, which is also associated with spectroscopy, the computer just picks it, bang, marks it on the map, computer mapping, bang, GP point, gives them the date, the time, everything, where that star is at the minute, that GP point. This is all added up to create the GPS system. But using a triangulated system of towers and that to find where you are on the flat Earth, and then they give you what's around you, because it all comes back to your arc of horizon. They need to know your zenith, where you are, so they can give you all these readings where you are on the Earth. As soon as they know that, it's quite easily set out. So in celestial navigation, we take a reading. So take a reading to this star or the whatever up there. There you get this angle here, but you need to know this angle from there to there, don't you? Because it's that there you have to calculate times 60 to give you the nautical miles of how far away you are to this GP point here. Okay? So you end up, you're somewhere around here in relation to this GP, once you've worked this out, in relation to this star. You know how far away you are. You just need to know where you are around the circle. That's why you take more readings and keep calculating, where you are, right to the point where you sussed out where you are, where you want to go, or where you've been, or whatever. It's blatantly obvious you need this flat horizon, and then they try to confuse you by saying, your flat earthers don't understand this variation, this calculation they do for refraction. Now, all that refraction is what I think it's about anyway, I haven't really looked too deep into it, is the fact that the sun is the timekeeper, right? So all this has to be in relation to the time. Well, who keeps the time? What's the timekeeper? The sun. And the sun is 4 minutes quicker than the stars, or nearly 3.84 minutes, I think. So you have to make that calculation. So this is what they tell you when the sun's gone down on the horizon. It hasn't really. I think that's what they say. Or when you see it come up from the horizon, it hasn't really come up yet. There's this like 3 to 4 minute delay. It's all because they haven't told you the truth, because the whole flat earth system describes it all. That the sun right back here in the centre of the ecliptic plane has the most energy, because all energy comes out of the black hole centre, which is right there. There's another picture here, black hole centre. There's the sun on its horizon. It's right there. All the other celestial bodies are further out. They're weaker in their cycles. The sun's right there. It's the most powerful. It runs around the track quicker, obviously quicker than these ones. Gets there quicker. So all the background stars are in here underneath in the 3D vortex with the moon and that. The moon catches up to the stars every You know, the moon does a weird cycle compared to everything else, but it's still within the vortex. There's only one vortex motion, but they take different paths within that vortex. The moon catches up to the stars every month, 27.314, is it? Is what I worked out once. Every month it catches up and realigns with the stars. But the moon, the sun over 1 year, because it's quicker than the stars by that 3.84 minutes, almost laps the stars over 1 year. If you add all those up, 365 times 3.84 nearly gives you a full day, which is another full cycle. But it stops short. And because the sun stops short, that little bit there exposes that amount of stars, right? So every year, if it's that much short, then these stars are being more and more exposed, which is exposing more and more of the constellations. This is why they say they're going backwards, because they sort of are. But the trick is not understanding that the sun is caught up and just finished short of the stars. I've done videos on trying to explain this to people, but they can't get it. But just go with me, okay? Okay, so we're going to read out some more of this. Car. We've got protractor. One who lengthens. Well, it's all connected to lengthening, because that's lengthening this point here, isn't it? Bringing this length down into the shorter plane, which isn't really shorter, because you've got to imagine it as these curved lines here. So these GP points fit on these curved field lines. Nothing straight, is it? Magnetic field lines. Modern Latin agent, noun from Latin, protrahere, to draw forward. Protraction, medieval Latin protractor meant one who calls or drags another into court. The surveying sense of instruments of measuring and drawing angles on paper. Protraction. You can look all this stuff up if you like. You go deep. Diverse. What is your horizon meaning? Limit of view. I thought I had a few more images here, but no. So anyway, so cars connected to the protractor. You look up the word horizon, start breaking that down. So you look up, that's obvious, rise on, and you look up haw or ho, and it takes you into the haw, as in the floozy, you know what I mean? But that's quite divine stuff as well, because you start referring to the moon. Because the moon in a lot of mythological stories or legend was considered, not that people has connected them, but she is connected as the whore, because she's sleeping with all these males. At the end of the day, you've got to realise that if the moon creates, she's the mother of creation. So she has to be involved with the spiritual, all life on earth, but the spiritual awakening of man, which means, and that's connected with the sun and the moon getting it on, because the moon always comes back into the sun, spirals back into the sun every new moon, right? But there's only 5 holy days in the year when she can give birth. Okay? That's when everything's level, at rest, resting state, to do with this here point here. 6th of September on that, where the two fields of earth are equal. So they're not equal there, are they? It's a 3-to-2 ratio, but they become equally balanced. That's all connected with rebirth, spiritual enlightenment of man. It's all connected to the car. life force. So look into that life force. It's with the stars, as above, so below. Our life force is in the stars. And your illumination, opening your third eye, getting out of the matrix and all that, is all connected to a realignment of the stars, which involves the moon and the Rakia. What ends up in here? Because this passes over the earth, and what gets caught in it? Your star could be caught in there. Every person on earth has a star, but gets caught up in here. Because our whole existence is duality, so there's a strong and a weak force. Somehow they marry, and this is why we get the stories of, say, Abel and Cain. There's two brothers. There's always a twin, because there's two entities involved, which is basically your physical self and your spiritual. But that's connected to this duality merging to create the one, rebirth, bringing you into a whole. Bringing you whole is also connected with the zodiac, where you're given the cornerstone the builders rejected. Because your gestation period is 9 months, you're missing that quarter. Well, that little corner gets given to you at your rebirth. And that's where your full moon sign will be. It'll be in that corner at the time of your awakening. It's all celestial realignments from your conception period. Okay, it comes around again. The return of Christ, that sort of thing. It's all connected. So understanding celestial navigation, you obviously need a flat horizon. You can't live on a ball. It's all garbage. They try and put you at the centre of their ball. Bring this around here. Who in their right mind would have imagined, we calculate from the centre of our ball like 2,000 years ago or something. You get all these globe tarts always telling you that, you don't know history, you don't know anything, because we've known for 2,300 years or something that the earth was a globe. No, maybe 2,000 years ago the church, because it all comes from the church, remember? So all this is spiritual, and but if the church, because they know how to make money and they know how simple people are, they can take control of the church, divert it all into their own pockets, come up with this other model where you're worshipping the going into the church to find your awakening to the church instead of your own personal experiences in this whole divine event. You think you have to go to, it's all controlled inside the church instead of going within yourself. It's a personal event. It's nothing to do with going to church. You don't pray in public. You do it within yourself, between you and your God. You and your celestial body. Your personal God is up here. You do not gain it though until you wake up. It's raising the kundalini, getting your wound up snake that sits down there in your third bottom chakra to rise up. How do they raise the snake? By playing the right tune. Up comes the snake. Uncoils. Look, there's a snake. There's the coil. Magnetic coil. That's the cycle all the stars and everything take over the month, the year. It's all connected to man. That's why man is of the earth. All comes back to one thing, one divine event. All the knowledge in the universe all comes back to one story. Just like everything comes back to here. Even in physics, they tell you, everything can come back to 0 point. It's just expanded out. Everything comes back to the 1 point. Singularity. Dual system, see? Everything can come back to a singularity. Because everything comes out of the black hole. There's singularity. Quite obvious what I've said here, if you think about it. Understanding. Let's move on a little bit, okay? Let's go. Some people talk about the phasing. How do the phasings of the moons occur? Okay? Well, the moon is illuminated via the shadow. It's the shadow of the sun via the black hole. Sun is always here moving around the horizon of the black hole. one cycle around here is your 24-hour day. As it's moving around, it's projecting its light across the hole. So if it was over here, it'd be across the hole. Or if it was over there, it'd be across the hole. Okay, so wherever the sun is, in relation to the moon, let's say the moon's there and the sun's fixed there for a minute. Then look at the magnetic field lines that curve out of the black hole. Just like this. You take this as the ether above the southern hemisphere. That's the path the stars take, like as they turn. There's a two-way turning, right? They turn this way, at the same time they're going that way. That's why we have rotation and revolving. Rotate, revolve, as it's turning, revolving around the center north. North is fixed. All these images out here are mirrored projections that moves around that way. There's a two-way system, look. One full revolution here is one full rotation all the way around here. Or if you're just staying stationary with your camera, just filming a star trail, you just get this circle. But you're not getting the same stars do that whole 360 circle. No, they've drifted out and moved that way because they have to go all the way around because they're mirrored from here. So that star there, that star there, that star's there, that star's there, that star goes over there, that star goes right around over there, this one goes right around to there. Understand? Understanding the Arctics, or Polaris and Sigma Octantis, from the equator to Polaris, 66.6 degrees. There's the tropical gap. 2 times 23.4, 46.8. That's the gap in here. This isn't to scale. So from the equator to the Sigma Octantis, 66.6 degrees. What do they tell you online? That's where the South Pole is. Remember when they used to tell you the South Pole flag was up on the Antarctic ice shelf? Here you go there and there's the South Pole. See, just lies on top of lies on top of lies. Because this point here, or this point here, it's not fixed. It moves around here. It's anywhere. It's a circle all the way around here. That's why it's on the Gleason map. It's all the way around here. Because this moves all the way around there. It's mirrored from the centre. It can be there. South is there. South is there. South is there. Or south is there. Southern hemisphere, that is. Because really this is north. These are both north poles, eh? North poles, north poles. South poles at either side of the tropics. It's mirrored. It's the weak force, strong force. Centre north, strong force. See, look, all the energy comes out of the centre. Gets dispersed, look, equidistant, expanding outward. Everything expands and it moves south. This is why we have that Mercator map where all these are parallel, because they're all equal distances. If you expand with the expansion here, it's all relative to the observer, equal distance. All equal distance between arcs of longitude. They say we haven't got a map. There's your map. What did they use in World War II? What's this? You take all these arcs of longitude in relation to the continents, it's bang on. Works like a clock. All the energy comes out of here, the clock arm comes out of there, passes around like this. Time doesn't change all the way down the clock arm, does it? It's all the same, all the way down the clock arm. But just imagine the clock arm's curved like this, because that's where the sun will be at any one moment over the earth. It'll be curved. It'll be a curved path. So you'll find the same time all the way around like this in one moment of time. The sun will be seen anywhere on that curved line, because the sun's not an object. It's an image. It's all magnetic induction. Everybody has their own image on their arc of horizon. So back to the moon phasing. Moon phasings are the shadows of the sun via the black hole. Realise the moon is the sun, or part of, because it's the female entity of the male. but the sun is male and female. And the stars are showing us signs, separation, showing us the females being separated from the male, just like in our physical world. Female has been taken out of male. Eve is taken out of Adam, or man, when he's born into the physical world, loses his Lilith. And reunification, opening your third eye, is bringing her back into you. Bringing your car, bringing your soul, raising your kundalini back together again. And these two are coming together every full moon, new moon. Okay? So it is the feminine aspect of the sun. That is male and female. In physics terms, magnetic is magnetic, the moon, which is down here in the 3D, that's magnetic. And magnetic induction, male. The male end of the Milky Way is magnetic induction between the two magnetic fields. The energy created between a strong force and a weak force. A moving magnetic field creates electrical. The moving electrical creates a changing magnetic field, because the cycle is changing. Over, under, positive, negative. Check out my earlier videos. So what we do here is the sun that's illuminated out past the hole here is basically the part that's getting written off. You don't see of the moon. The part we do see of the moon will be, this is why we get the shape, this curve. But if it's around the other side of the cycle, the curve goes this way, doesn't it? Because look, there's the magnetic field there, moving. So if you're on this side, the field's going in, let's say the field's going out. Look, the curve's going that way on this side, but it's going that way on that side. And then the in and out cycle, 14 days in, 14 days out. Okay? But it's the sun that removes the moon. So you've got to realise it's the shadow of the sun via the black hole, centre. This is back in creation, realise. This is right back in the core, right back in creation. Because the black hole is basically the centre of the Milky Way, but it all collapses back to nothing, a flat plane. Our whole realm is expanded out, but bring it all back to nothing. Zero plane, flat plane, 2D, there it is there. Okay? So then you've got to imagine expressed out into our realm. What are you seeing expressed out into our realm? You can go figure that one out yourself. But right back in creation, that's what we're getting. So I realise the two-way system where this is revolving around, I've done that, mirrored the north rotation as it revolves north. So there's the South Pole, basically there, not here, it's there. And where's that? It could end up about here. Nothing's actually physical in our realm, so don't get yourself all confused thinking, oh, it doesn't work in a physical sense. You've got to imagine when it's mirrored from the north, here, it's mirrored to the south, and this concave sky creates this parabolic mirrored image where it casts everything back to the horizon of the viewer. It brings it all back. It's just it's all holographic projections back to the viewer there. So he sees this rotation. He sees there's Sigma Octantis. Well, it's mirrored. It's mirrored from there. That Polaris mirrored to there. More dispersed. But he's viewing it opposite to the northern hemisphere. The northern hemisphere, they're looking at the star system through this. There's your vortex. Northern hemisphere. In the south, we see it from this way. We're looking backwards through this way. That's why the simple minds of these scientists of yours tell you they're not the same stars. Well, they are the same stars. I've been through that, shown lots of videos. Remember, everything's a lie. You go on like a place like Quora, and they're all run by the same liars. And you start looking into, say, an image of Saturn. Because coming up on the 6th of September, all the planets, the ecliptic plane is level, which means all the planets should all sit level. Disregard the moon. It's not a planet. It's not on the 2D plane. We're talking about the 2D plane. The moon is down here in the 3D. All the planets should sit level. Back at creation they do anyway, but because we're cast out, we're created from the 3D realm, they could be in a slight angle due to this S-curve, because this S-curve comes about from just a circular motion on the 2D plane. But I'm guessing, I haven't looked myself because I came into all this stuff after I got rid of my telescope, and I've now got a telescope that some guy sold me, cheap as, but came in bits and pieces. Figured out how to put it back together. So everything will be sitting flat, so Saturn will be sitting level. Its rings, everything should be sitting level, even the moons, I'd say. And so you go on Quora and they start saying, oh yeah, there's plenty of images online. You know, not all of them are actual images. A lot of them are CGI or whatever. And he says this one here is an image. It's a factual image, and it's complete BS. It's a lie. They give you an image like this. There's your flipping rings, say. And then they got the center part sticking out of the rings, of the outer rings. You know, that's 100% lie. Okay? If anything, it might bulge a little bit down, but not really. It should all be within there. And it's sort of like the goat head with the horns. Okay? It's more like that. It's not a circle with a ring round like this. Total BS. Blatant lie. You want to go on there. Check it out. Go and put a comment. When you see all these flipping liars, go on there and scream bullshit. Because that's all it is. They're just lying to your children. Turning your children into flipping morons. Pure lies. Evil. I thought I had more on my screenshots to explain, go into more depth here. It's quite amazing when you go in and break them all down. So blatantly obvious, you need a flat plane to get your celestial navigation. You don't have to be in the centre of a spinning ball. You can see how they reverse engineered it. There's a couple of sites online where you go and learn celestial navigation. There's an old guy with a beard, and he's quite easy to understand, and you can see where they've converted it all to this globe theory. What a joke. So realise it's about controlling your mind, and it all comes back to religion, because they controlled everything. Because religion was a big part of it. Because religion is physics. The meaning to life, everything. It's all associated with man, consciousness. So it's always been around, and they realised, oh, if we can take control of that, we're going to be filling our pockets with gold. And that's what they've done. That's why the Vatican's so wealthy. That's why we have NASA. We're paying them billions of dollars to lie to us. And all their governments are all liars. They're all controlled with the same group. All Freemasons. So if you want to stay a dummy, never wake up, keep being reincarnated, you just follow the globe. Don't come here. Just pass on by. Go back to Dopey Land. Okay? Stay in Dopey Land. Even my family members are in Dopey Land. I mean, we were all once in Dopey Land, but some of us wake up earlier than others. And I'm the only one here with the whole flat earth model. I can explain everything to everybody. Well, try to. Whether they understand it or not is a different story. But anyway, if you like this sort of thing, don't forget to put our likes up, share it. Because a lot of people out there just don't know of this channel, because it's pretty well shadow banned. And think about joining my Patreon. Look that up. And I go a bit deeper with the spiritual side of all this stuff on my Patreon. But I've got heaps of stuff on my mind. I can make hundreds of videos. It's just whether I get around to doing it. Okay, well, thanks for watching. Hope you learned something. Cheers.